We'll do it live.
We'll do it now. We'll do it live.
Do it live, I said.
Blanket, blanket, blanket.
I can't do that bit in its entirety because I would have to use curse words.
Right, exactly. Well, he could use them. Why can he use them and we can't?
Because he was off air and being recorded. That's why. I think my favorite one of those though is the Casey Kasem one.
Hi, I'm Casey Kasem.
How am I supposed to go from an upbeat tempo into a death?
A little boy with his dog in Cincinnati requested this song. His dog is in heat. I ran over to the neighbors.
Oh God. I'm Casey Kasem.
Welcome to Rock and Roll History.
This week on America's Top 40.
His little dog died, unfortunately. Now there's a song that he requested. Rock and roll. Anyway.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's nice. I like that. Hi, Matt.
Hi.
How the hell are you?
Washington Post noted Bigfoot expert. Matt.
Yeah. Right. That's
You
right.
know this podcast has hit the big time.
He's got more credits after his name than you do, Phil.
I know. He's
Just saying.
got that seat. He is right out on Front Street now.
I'm telling you.
Got the cred.
The man's got heat. I'm talking heat.
Man.
Talking like fresh out of the oven heat.
The man, Matt. The man. Mad Matt the man. The Mad at.
Mad Matt beyond the Thunderdome.
The Matt Meister.
And now a story about a boy and his dog.
He was his heat at the time.
How am I supposed to go from an up-tempo number
to this story about the kid's dog?
They had a great time at the circus until they were killed on the way home.
What the? Get out, Casey Kasem.
Are we doing Bigfoot news this week?
No, we're doing Casey Kasem.
I'm just letting you guys get this out of your system, and then we'll move on to the Bigfoot stuff.
You can never get Casey Kasem out of your system.
And here's tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree.
All right. Are we all done?
And now here's Richard.
Okay.
I was thinking one more, but I'll let it go.
No. By all means, Matt. By all means.
And here's Leonard Nimoy with Bilbo Baggins.
And for the fourth week at number 1, Huey Lewis and the News.
William Shatner with Rocket Man. William Shatner did Rocket Man, you know.
Yeah, he did at
Yeah.
a science fiction convention.
Oh, it was great.
And here's William Shatner with Common People.
All right. Are we done now?
Yeah, we're done. You can do the news now.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Ever so much. All right.
thank you.
Oh. Get it all out now.
No, it's we're good.
All right. You're good? You're sure?
Yeah. Bigfoot.
Okay. Bigfoot.
On
Go.
track.
Okay. So, oh dear God. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's episode of the Squatchable podcast, where we take a look at the week in Bigfoot news. Joining me, as always, my stalwart co-host, Christopher York.
Howdy.
He joins us from the 40 and Slip. And joining us from Bigfoot Crossroads, Matt Knapp. Matt, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
And joining us, and despite his erratic democratic schedule, Phil Pulling of Power Breakdown fame. Phil.
Hi there.
Hi. Okay, good. And if you enjoy Power Breakdown, Bigfoot Crossroads, or the 40 Slip, you may enjoy the badly drawn misadventures of two Bigfoot. Head on over to Facebook, Bigfooting with Keith and Collin, where Keith and Collin will accidentally summon the Demon Lord Cthulhu this week. Should be
Again.
fun. No,
As they should.
as they should. They have a blast doing that kind of thing.
And if you'd like to catch Phil, you can catch him along the campaign trail of any Democratic candidate currently running for president. He's just very, very supportive.
He's very, very liberal.
Yes.
All right. So, without further ado, I am your host, Richard Allen, and let's just jump into it.
The only thing I'm liberal with is I'm liberal with vodka, and I'm liberal with tequila, and I'm liberal with the rum. That's as far as I go. Damn pinkos.
I want you to know, Chris, that I'm violently stabbing a voodoo doll in your episode.
Did you have some news?
You can find Phil in the studio audience of The View this week.
Right.
Tuning in to CNN is Phil Pauling.
Our first
Good evening.
story. Oh.
And now for Bigfoot news.
Our first story comes from the Cherokee Scout. It's an opinion piece by David Brown, who grew up in South Florida. He first learned to fear the skunk ape, which was a large, hairy, wretched-smelling beast that allegedly prowled the backwoods on two legs, looking for badly misbehaving children to heap misfortune upon. That's the first time I've heard that.
I've never heard that
I've
description.
never heard it being associated with kids in any way. Okay, fair enough.
Skunk capes for the children?
Apparently, it's like Krampus for American Krampus for kids.
It's like the boogeyman.
It's like Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
Okay.
Skunk ape's also got various other names: Swamp Ape, Swamp Man, Cabbage Man, Stink Ape, and his personal favorite, Swamp Squatch. I've never heard Cabbage Man. Who calls the skunk ape Cabbage Man?
Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Swamp Squatch. Now, Sasquatch is a Northwestern term. How did it get to Florida when he was a kid? No, I'm just asking.
Phil, I don't know. I don't understand these things.
I don't either.
I don't understand Florida, though. So
Yeah. I want to know if Keith and Collin ever got out of that portal.
So while most folks tend to think of Bigfoot as a single creature who somehow managed to avoid extinction, there have been multiple sightings of multiple species in heavily forested areas, including the Ohio grassman, the skunk ape, and the Pacific Northwest Sasquatch. Bigfoot is real. Perhaps there are other monsters alive and well in the wild. A hunter in West Virginia swears he spotted a 10-foot tall sheep squatch. And no, I'm
Sheep
not.
Squatch.
Sheep squatch.
Man, that is
I'm-
bad.
I'm giddy with anticipation as he works his way to my favorite part of the article.
Was the sheep squatch giving him a come hither look?
It was.
And apparently, as well as the sheep squatch, there is the death cat of Cherokee County.
Wow.
A dead cat of
No, a death cat.
Would somebody scrape that thing off the road?
One sight and it kills you, Phil. It's a death cat.
Oh man.
A
Death.
deaf cat. It can't
So
hear.
he can't hear anything.
Yeah, that too.
Well,
So it has, like,
definitive
some
evidence of Bigfoot has never been found, as the Observer pointed out. A representative of India's army tweeted in April that soldiers found footprints of a real abominable snowman, which is considered a relative of the Bigfoot. National Geographic has a wealth of circumstantial proof, including eyewitness accounts, blurry photographs, and mysterious footprints. But scientists insist the sightings are often misidentifications of other animals. So what keeps people interested in a 61-year-old phenomenon? Like Fox Mulder of the X-Files, do we just want to believe? Some people see Sasquatches as symbols of pure freedom, living by instinct, and foiling every effort to pin them down. According to Smithsonian, to search for Bigfoot in the forest is to taste of that freedom. On the trail, you become extra attuned to nature, the smell of scat, the sounds of breaking branches, and the curious impressions in the dirt.
So it's like a psychosis.
Yes, Bigfoot psychosis.
Yeah.
It's a symbol of freedom, Phil.
Well,
I for what's right in America.
Phil, when they put you on that table, Phil, like they did Braveheart at the end, I just want you to scream Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
Because, it's a symbol of freedom.
You could just say Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Do all that.
You didn't have to take it that far.
Well, he did.
Listen, no, you method acted.
I know.
We don't need that.
I
Richard's
thought
trying to
that's
tell the
what we were
news. I'm trying to
supposed to
throw in a
do.
little anecdote.
He was method acting.
You're
the
like
whole
trying to
show.
be Marlon Brando.
No, he was like all that. The whole show, he was like that. He was like Captain Kirk. Longshanks, I will get you. Longshanks. Never mind. Go ahead with the story.
As long as there are wild places in America, Bigfoot remains a possibility that, to most ardent proponents, cannot be disproved. And why would we want to? The world is more fun with abominable snowman, aliens hidden in Area 51, and the Loch Ness Monster. I just hope that the Georgia Sasquatch sits over here for a spell so the Cherokee County Paranormal Society can add it to the local legend Has It tour.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that story.
And obviously that is not the David Brown that I'm thinking of. That's a different David Brown.
Apparently search.
Yeah.
So there you go. Bigfoot is the ultimate symbol of freedom and America.
Replace the bald eagle right now.
With Bigfoot. I'm down.
Yeah. Stick Bigfoot on the top of those flagstaffs right now.
Let's do it.
Stars, stripes, and Sasquatch.
I'm in.
And coffee. Yeah. Gotta have coffee. Like Bigfoot coffee.
Phil.
You see, every afternoon around 5.
Phil.
Gunner months.
Is he still sending you coffee?
He sent me 1 pack of coffee. I drank 1 cup of it and decided not to drink the rest. Because, it's the Sasquatch urine that gives it that that rich, full flavor.
Oh, all right.
It's like that one coffee where, the wild cat eats it and then poops out the beans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I heard Gunner tried the same thing with the Bigfoot coffee stuff.
Ooh.
And
You heard that, did you?
Ooh.
yes.
Mm.
Ooh.
What did he use instead of a wild cat, though? A dog?
Well, he was going to use a Bigfoot, of course. But he couldn't find one, so he improvised.
This is going to a dark place. Richard, you better start the next story.
Keep
quick.
Richard.
No. I'm quite happy to go down the rabbit hole.
So obviously, looking around to see if there was any other hominid around, he started.
Okay,
eating.
moving on. Bigfoot, Pennsylvania, from the Inquirer. On a cool, muddy night in April, I joined Bigfoot enthusiasts Jason and Michelle Talmadge for a tracking night in Luzerne County. Bigfoot is big in Pennsylvania, according to the Bigfoot Field Research Organization. Pennsylvania is the 3rd best state to have a Sasquatch sighting. So I followed the
Did you get in touch with Sasquatch investigator Steve Alcorn?
Yes. He was too busy trying to sell stuff on eBay to respond, though.
Oh.
So I follow the Talmadges into the woods and inside the phenomenon. Listen to my audio diary to hear what we found. Okay. For the uninitiated, it's important to know the difference between a sighting and an interaction. Michelle Tarmitage recalls one particularly smelly interaction. It happened in the same woods we're about to enter. Up on Bold Mountain in Luzerne County, Jason Talmadge banged rocks together near a wind farm, hoping a Bigfoot would bang rocks back. He peered into muddy tracks along an ATV trail, glanced at downed branches, and then decided that they were nothing. Frogs, gunshots, and ATVs can be heard in the distance. After 90 minutes, the sun set, and he and Michelle hurried out as the sky went from deep blue to black. It was a typical Bigfoot investigation, he said afterwards. We found no evidence, had a nice walk in the woods, and had a nice conversation.
Did he say bang rocks near a wind farm?
Yes.
Aren't wind farms usually like cleared open spaces for like hundreds of acres?
Yes.
Except where the ATVs are.
Well, I mean, that's where I would go to find a Bigfoot, you know, the largest wide open space I can find.
Well, and how do we know how close this is? Like, it could be something that's in relation close to the wind farm, but not like, you know what I mean?
Are you implying
That maybe
the
there's a
author of this article did not take a serious journalistic approach with this article?
It's a possibility, Matt, that may happen from time to time to overinflate a story.
Since he referred to it as a typical Bigfoot outing where people walk through the woods and have a good time talking.
Yeah.
Well, he did point out some of the past encounters, like the time the gentleman, could smell Bigfoot.
Right.
Right. But I mean, I don't know what they smell like.
I wouldn't say that because the wind farms, they're actually up very high. The towers themselves are up high. They're not like down low.
Right.
So the area wouldn't necessarily have to be clear.
But they'd need access to them.
Right. They would need access, so there'd have to be an access road, and they obviously was. I don't know the area. I haven't looked at it.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to,
You're trying to
compare it to what the wind farms are here.
Right.
Where it's just
where your your wind farms probably wouldn't be in an area like that because, I don't know what the need would be or why, or like I said, I don't know the area. I'm just trying to make an understanding of why they would say that, whether or not they're overinflating the story and saying that it was, closer
near
right
Philadelphia.
Well, I suppose they could have said, it was Bald Mountain where the wind farm is, surrounded by the forest.
Right. Something. Right. Correct.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
The article just says he's near a wind farm. It doesn't say he's actually there.
Well, there you go.
I would suggest that it would mean that he's in the woods near a wind farm.
I'm glad we got this settled.
Wow. Yeah, hey, that's what we're here for, Phil. We're here to clear the news up for you.
Well, as saying something to the looking for Bigfoot in wide open spaces, if I may quote the legendary Bigfoot tracker, Reverend Jeff Kelly.
You may not.
The best way to find Bigfoot is to sit at a campsite and have a beer with your mates.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I think it's the best way.
So,
that's the funnest way.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
That's the most relaxed way that you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do think that people have a better chance of having something occur.
I mean, listen, if you've got a side-by-side and, I'm not endorsing drinking and driving, but, you want to have your drink with you and follow the tracks in that.
Yeah.
That can still, give you that kind of at the camp, sitting back, relaxing. Yeah. Or have somebody drive you.
Or just fall asleep in front of the campfire.
That too.
Whatever works. So moving on.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so moving on. According to News 18 and the Daily Mail, the Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, and Yeti don't exist, says expert.
Hang it up.
Are we done?
Hit the lights. We're done.
That's it.
This has been the
Good night,
last
everybody.
episode of the Squatchable podcast. Sorry to say that because it doesn't exist, we can't keep the lights on anymore.
Says expert who studied legendary beasts for 20 years. Dr. Darren Naish from the University of Southampton, or CSM.
Who is he?
He's
He's
from the
telling you.
Never heard of him.
You've never
He's
heard
Dr.
of the
Naish.
You've never heard of the Naishamator?
No,
on,
I've
man.
never heard of this man.
From
Dude,
Southampton.
from CSM.
Okay, carry on so I can learn more about this.
He's been studying
amazing
legendary
person.
beasts for the last 2 decades, has admitted defeat in his search for Nessie, and concluded that the famed monster does not exist.
That's very scientific,
Yeah, no, he's just,
especially for a scientist who has a doctorate to make the claim that since I didn't see it, it doesn't exist.
do you want to hear his evidence before you poo-poo it? Because it's pretty solid stuff. Man.
Oh, okay. Let's
Oh,
hear the
okay.
evidence.
Are you ready? According to Naish, given that digital cameras are in every mobile phone now, someone must have taken a picture if they really existed. So,
And he knows. he
yeah,
knows
that
they
shook
haven't.
you up, didn't it? Got
All
nothing to
right.
say.
I can't argue with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah,
Right.
it's over now. Over for you. Right. So he added that.
Matt, what are you going to do now that your career's over?
I don't know.
Start studying the chupacabra.
What do you mean start?
Get to grips. with
It's
the
been his
ghost.
guilty pleasure for a long time. Just nobody's known it.
Now he's going to go on the road.
Mm.
Become the chupacabra capturer.
Mm-hmm.
He added the other
If
urban
you
myths.
trip over that one.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping a lookout for that word because I'm not going down that one again.
Oh. Well, carry on. So we got Bigfoot news to tell the people.
He added that other urban myths such as Bigfoot and Yeti too were unlikely to exist. Oh well, there you go then. According
Unlikely. Well, he did say unlikely.
to yeah,
So Matt, game
There's
on.
hope.
Game on.
There is hope.
Okay, continue on with the story. We may be back to game off before the end of this story. But for right now, Matt, game on.
according to a story published in the Daily Mail, Dr. Naish, while speaking at the Cheltenham Science Festival, pointed out that the only pictures of the sea monster were terribly low-resolution little blobs taken from a distance, and that they are not real creatures that are out of there to photograph. Incidentally, London surgeon Robert Wilson took the most famous photo of Nessie in 1934, which was later debunked as being fake. Despite resurgence in images of Nessie using modern technology, experts firmly opinionate that there is just not enough evidence to substantiate their authenticity. Speaking at the festival, Dr. Naish revealed that while 2018 was particularly good for Nessie sightings, with 4 to 5 images cropping up, all of them were random blobs on the water and thus cannot be validated. Notably, the legend of Loch Ness Monster has existed since 565 AD, when Irish monks in Colombia witnessed locals burying a man who had apparently been savaged by a creature in the loch. On being asked if other big monsters exist out there, Dr. Naish added that while they do not exist in a scientific sense, they are concepts and ideas that are embedded into our psyche. So there you are, lads. It's over.
Wow.
I
You
guess
know-
it's still game on.
Naish really he really took a risk. He is quite a risk taker, claiming that myths don't exist.
Yeah, he's just gone balls deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see why that's news.
Well, I like the way, he had all of his ducks in a row and tied up every loose end.
No. It was the guy at the Daily. See, his son works for the Daily Mail. It's a steady job, but he wants to be a paperback writer.
Paperback.
Paperback writer.
Nice.
Probably his son
No.
wrote.
So we're all agreed then, because of Dr. Naish, we can all safely say that Yeti, Loch Ness Monster, and Bigfoot don't exist.
Yes.
No, he said it's
in the
unlikely.
UK. In the UK.
He said it's unlikely. So
He
I
said
think
likely.
that means game's still on.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was only referring to, the evidence that he was able to find in the UK.
Well, he said that Bigfoot and the Yeti are unlikely, but he did put the kibosh on the Loch Ness Monster. And should we be calling it a monster, really? Is that the politically correct term these days?
No, creature.
I mean, don't you think
The Loch
Nessie
Ness
might be a bit offended by calling it a monster?
Loch Ness
Well,
creature.
some people call Bigfoot the missing link. I mean, there you go.
Jeez.
Maybe he/she does not feel like they're missing.
He's not.
Why are you trying to identify it with a gender?
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's why I said he/she. I mean,
Or it. You don't have to be. It doesn't all fit, Chris. Come on.
I'm sorry.
Not
Not up
missing.
on the fucking. Oh, sorry. God.
Jeez. See what happens when you have me on, Richard?
It's absolutely fine. I'm enjoying the lively debate.
As you should, Richard.
We need a dump button.
I've got one. Oh.
All right. So the next is a 5-minute video on the Patterson Gimlin footage.
Oh, I love videos. Let's see it.
I've seen this footage. What I have.
I might have as well.
It's 5 minutes of
Footage.
of a dude breaking down the Patterson Gimlin footage. He talks to Cliff Barackman, Jeff Meldrum, and features the live 2005 lie detector test with Bob Hieronymus.
Oh, I hate to just stop the show, Richard. On a side note, Matt, did I tell you I got a response back from Ryan Redding?
No.
Yeah. Do you remember him saying that he could get a one Dr. Jeff Meldrum on the 40?
Guaranteed it. Guaranteed it.
Guaranteed that he could get him on the show.
They're friends. You can hit them up.
Come to find out, that is not the case.
What?
Yes. In fact, Dr. Meldrum does not like us.
Oh, come on.
Or in particular me.
With good reason. Let's be fair.
What?
Yeah, that was the response that I got from Ryan after getting the response.
Huh, what a dick.
I'm going to email Dr. Jeff Meldrum and ask him why he doesn't like me.
Yeah. Why he wouldn't come on the 40 and slip. And ask him, seriously, ask him why he wouldn't come on the 40 and slip to have an honest, an honest debate discussion. Ask anyone that we've ever had on that we've had differences with, whether or not we've ever been fair. And I think you'll find, 10 times out of 10, we're fair.
Well, you're always fair to me, and we constantly have differences.
Yeah.
Well, how come he's not fair to me, though? That's the.
But yeah, no, I found that very odd that he would say that.
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna email and ask him and let him know. Hey, your buddy Ryan Redding told us that you don't like us, and you refuse to come on the show.
To that John Teeter nutbag, you can be nice to anyone.
Yeah, we were nice to the John Teeter guy.
Well,
John Teeter
be
too?
nice to a time traveler that could just like screw your life completely. Of course, you're going to be nice to him.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not messing around with time travel.
So,
but yeah, no, I thought it was an interesting note because we were trying to get Dr. Meldrum on the 40 and slip. So, yeah,
and expose his foot fetish once and for all.
That's right. I guess that won't be happening.
So yeah, this was a 5-minute long video on the Patterson Gimlin footage. The person who made it doesn't believe the video is real.
The person who made it doesn't believe that the video is real.
The person who made this video doesn't believe that the Patterson Gimlin film is real. Believed when Bob Hieronymus took the lie detector test, he was telling the truth.
But that was a TV production, and how do you know that the polygrapher wasn't in on the deal?
Lie detector test. Anyone who knows anything about psychology can fool a lie detector test. Really,
lie detector tests are not
Admissible in
foolproof.
court.
They're not admissible in court. They're not foolproof. They generally do not work.
I mean,
And
it wasn't
why they
exactly
keep being propped up as this thing, especially that the police tend to use, but then it's not admissible in court. So they'll do it to be like, oh, we'll take this. But it's just yet another one of their tactics that they use, and I have an issue with that.
Right.
Yeah, and
it is a tactic, right?
And I'm not like outside the box saying that. And for the record, like Phil, this is coming from you, who are an ex-police officer.
Correct.
So
yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying anything out of school or out
He
of turn.
hasn't taken a lie detector test to prove that he's an ex-police officer.
Bringing it back around, like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for various reasons, he believes it's a dude in a suit. But
then he also believes that Justin Smeehaw shot and killed a Bigfoot.
What? Why does that follow?
Well, Justin passed his lie detector test.
That's very true.
With his claims on shooting and killing a juvenile Bigfoot. So, according to this guy's logic, he should believe Justin Smeehaw's story.
The guy didn't seem to not believe in Bigfoot. Did you watch the video?
Well, no. I turned it on and I heard the guy's voice and saw where it was going and turned it off. Like, what? Does he have some new argument that I've never heard?
No, he didn't. To be fair. He did go into detail about why Jeff Meldrum thinks the video is real with the foot lift off. Right. There was an impression with the foot lift off.
Yeah, he did. He went in mid-Tulsa break. He went into the comparison with Hollywood and their costuming.
I have a question about the Patterson Gimlin footage, and I don't know if any one of you has an answer about this. What was the condition of the ground like there?
Sand.
It was sand?
Pretty much.
Okay, so because here's my issue is a lot of people say, oh, well, the bottom of the creature's feet are white. Well, if it's walking across sand, then of course, like the bottom of the creature's feet are white.
There had been flooding, and the creek had overflown its banks, and when it receded, and there was just this crusty white crap everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, because I was curious about that because I'd heard many people have that argument. Well, the bottom of the feet are white. Well, okay, well, there is an explanation for that.
That's actually normal on everything.
No, I know, but it seems overly white, and to me, and I understand what you're saying, but I think that's due to the fact that there was sand that it was walking over.
Yeah, that's the theory.
That's my opinion too, because of looking at the video and seeing the ground of what I can see, and I just wanted to, somebody to confirm it.
Yeah,
well, but on the other hand, a costume can pick up the same sand.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what your point is.
I guess I don't have a point, Phil. Thanks for ruining everything for me.
Well,
buddy.
you said you wanted an answer.
Just if you could skip next week's show.
All right. Okay.
I found it interesting. There were points for it being real and points against it being real. So,
as you just saw.
As we just saw. So we will never have the answer. Unless it is fake and Bob Gimlin confesses to that before he dies. But if he goes to his grave saying it's real, we will have to admit that it's real, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't think we're ever going to find out that it's real.
Never going to know.
That film is real.
Yeah.
I think you can either have the opinion that it is or that it isn't.
And that's all she wrote on that. And for our final story, we have more on the FBI releasing 22 pages of its investigation into Bigfoot. We covered this briefly last week. There's a little bit more.
Page 1. We looked into Bigfoot.
Then we hung out in front of the drugstore.
Page 2. We went to a wind farm.
Out at the drugstore.
So yes, Bigfoot, described as an evolutionary link between humans and our ape ancestors, is a staple of indigenous American
Missing
folklore.
link again.
I've never heard that used by indigenous people of North America.
Do you know many indigenous people?
Yeah,
I do.
Are you kidding?
He lives in Oklahoma.
Now, this
Over
place is
here, like this is, yeah, a term that's no longer accepted, rightfully so. But Oklahoma was known as Indian Territory, Richard,
Well,
because there's a large number of Native Americans that
it's
were here
kind of funny
before the Europeans got here.
that you say that about the whole Indian thing, because by and large, Indians don't give a shit, or Native Americans don't give a shit if they're called Indians.
They don't. Not the ones
By
I
and
know.
large, they don't give a sweet shit.
Nope.
But there's, well,
People like
we
me
won't
that
get
are
into that.
liberals.
You have a problem with it, Phil?
Liberals. Only
You
thing
are
I'm
a
liberal with.
according to Rick Dyer.
You're liberal about that? That's something that you're liberal about? No, I'm being serious. Seriously? You have an issue with it?
Who are you talking to?
You!
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were being absolutely serious. Thanks, man. We've completely derailed this news program, Richard, so don't worry about it. It's going to be okay.
No. Well,
No. Just hold on to them reins, buddy. Hold on. 8 seconds. Okay?
Do you have any idea? Look, remember how we started? We were doomed from the moment I hit
Listen,
live.
Listen,
Okay?
you're Luke Perry. I know he's dead, but 8 seconds, buddy.
Okay. So
That was based on a guy from Oklahoma.
Of course it was. So was
right,
that
so during the 2010 Winter Olympics in Vancouver, Canada, for example, the mascot Squatchable was based on this mythology. To this day, Sasquatch enthusiasts claim to have spotted the mysterious beast wandering deep in the North American rainforest. Indeed, the idea is so intriguing that there are books about this mystery still being published, like John Zada's upcoming In the Valleys of the Noble Beyond. In search
Why
of...
does his book get pitched?
I don't know, actually, because I've never heard of that before.
That was just kind of like a random thing for them to include in, for instance, this book that's available on Amazon.
I suppose I got to plug something. Bigfoot enthusiasts even managed to enlist the US government's assistance in their quest to confirm the giant's existence, according to newly released FBI files. The agency records show that in 1976, Peter Byrne, then director of the Bigfoot Information Center and Exhibition of Oregon, there we go, where the Sasquatch is thought to roam, convinced the Federal Bureau to aid in an investigation of new materials he believed confirmed the creature's existence. He cited 15 hairs attached to a tiny piece of skin as the most promising discovery Bigfoot researchers have alighted on in 6 years. In one of his letters to the FBI...
Sorry, go ahead.
What?
Nothing.
No, you were giggling. What?
Well, it's just, the journalism that takes place in regard to the subject of Bigfoot is just always funny. Like how they just make these like bold statements that are like totally inaccurate. Like the Bigfoot world was just hinging on that one set of hair samples that he sent in, like what, the 70s?
Yeah.
Like, no.
77.
We've been knowing about it. Like we knew that the FBI tested it. We knew that it came back deer sample or deer hairs. Like it's old news to like anybody actually in the study of Bigfoot being real.
No.
Yeah, but we didn't know about that book.
No, and we didn't know about the hair samples that my group sent off to 2 or 3 different independent laboratories that came back as unknown, and they couldn't find them on record or anything. They couldn't tell what group they came from. They said they were most likely human in origin, but they couldn't identify what part of the body or if they were, one of the 3 groupings that all human hairs come from. But that's okay.
Right there. That proves it.
No, it doesn't prove it, but stuff like that doesn't get any attention.
It just proves that
it's just whenever it comes back as like a bear or a deer, like, let's write 20 articles about it.
It's like undetermined.
I mean, these same kind of articles were being written about people claiming to see UFOs like 20 years ago. Now what?
Now there are no UFOs.
No, now the government admits that they're out there. So like all the news stations are like putting out completely different articles.
But this is something that happens over and over again, where people bring up old news as if it's something new.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just people get lost in something. Like, I don't know why, but for the past like week and a half or so, I've been seeing in my news feeds that Kurt Cobain is dead.
What?
Yeah, I know, right?
When did that happen?
Jeez.
But I mean, like, these things, I don't know why this happens. And a lot of times it's these internet hoaxes with a lot of this death thing, or, people bring back something or whatever. But with this type of thing, it's a way that they reintroduce a story or something that happened almost as if it's like a new thing.
Well,
And
there was a group of people
community a lot, Matt, and I believe
yeah. I mean, just this past week, everybody saw the picture of the Bigfoot in Arizona out in the open. Okay, first day, it was proven to be an archery target.
Mm-hmm.
It was put out by a group of people that later on in the post were trying to sell samples of Bigfoot hair that were used by medicine men in their practices. Like, what? And like the picture originally came out in like 2017. But even though you have all that, it was picked up by like NBC. And like it's being posted everywhere on the internet, at least all over Facebook. And everybody's like, I don't know, it might be real, or it's a gynecologist.
Guys, like, and I'm not being critical. I am, and I'm not being critical of Bigfoot Tony, who will take videos, and sometimes Phil will do the same thing. Not to be critical of you either, Phil, but they'll break down older stuff, and it will take off, and people will be like, "Oh, have you seen this new video?" No, that's not new. It's old. Did you watch the video?
Well, yeah, a lot of people ignore the information that comes along with it.
Right. So it's just funny, the whole situation, as it is when it comes.
I mean, earlier in I think it was the first article Richard went over, they were talking about how like there's scientists talk about, there's nothing but blurry photographs, but they totally ignored the other part about mysterious footprints. Like, why don't scientists ever talk about those? And like, they're not just always weird impressions. There's some very good footprints documented out there.
And a lot of those people will discount them because of, they'll say, "Oh, well, those can be faked."
Exactly, but everything can be faked.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the problem. It's a mentality thing about the topic.
I mean, I can, fake something, but that doesn't mean that it can't actually happen or doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what a lot of the Bigfoot world gets tired of, is just nobody's willing to like take a serious look and just give it a chance and see what's out there.
Yeah, and I think, and this is something we've talked about many times, I think on here and on the 40 and Slip, is that these people that make a mockery of it, these people that hoax things, these people that put out something that is definitely not as if it is, they sully everything else that is real, or that is something that's honest. And it's a
But
problem.
if we're being honest, there's people that make money off putting out information that these are real and everything that comes out is real.
Yes.
And there's money on the other side for showing that it's not real. There's an audience for it that, these people make a living off of just poo-pooing on all of it.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
All right.
Sorry.
No. That is exactly what I wanted when I started this show.
Oh, well, good.
Honest Bigfoot talk. And in response to his request, Peter Byrne received a letter from J. Cochran Jr., Assistant Director of the agency's Scientific and Technical Services Division. The FBI laboratory conducts investigations primarily of physical evidence for law enforcement agencies in connection with criminal investigations, Cochran wrote. Occasionally, on a case-by-case basis, in the interest of research and scientific inquiry, we make exceptions to this policy. With this understanding, we will examine the hairs and tissue mentioned in your letter. In an internal letter confirming the examination request was granted, Cochran assured his colleagues that it wasn't as outlandish as it might first seem. This does not represent a change in Bureau policy, he wrote. Nothing at the agency's science lab had previously assisted museums and universities in archaeological examinations, he reminded them, that the FBI's interest in research and legitimate scientific inquiry. With his wish granted, Peter Byrne did as told, supplying the mysterious materials in the hope of finally confirming Bigfoot's existence, but he was ultimately unable to prove that Bigfoot was indeed a matter of legitimate scientific inquiry. The promising tissue and hair samples turned out to be pretty easily identified by FBI scientists, after all, and they didn't think that what he sent to them came from a Sasquatch. So there you have it. The FBI investigated Bigfoot. Turned out it wasn't Bigfoot.
Wait. Are we still game on?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, okay. All right. Game on.
It looks like
Matt,
it.
don't worry about it.
Oh, cock knobs.
Oh,
I hate cock knobs.
Wow.
I didn't have any graphics for the entire show.
No, you did not.
Mm-mm.
No. That's all right. Our amazing banter made up for all of your lack of graphics. My cursing made up.
Yeah, well, okay. So we had a fairly good one last week, and now we're back to normal this week. So.
It has been 0 days since Chris cussed.
All right.
I try to do really well, and I've been doing really well too.
You have been doing well. It's not gone well this week. Not gone well. But that's all right. There's been some really interesting talking points. So, what is your topic tomorrow night on the 40 and Slip?
I think I'm gonna go Ed and Lorraine Warren. And Richard, you might be excited for this, my friend. Maybe.
Why?
Although, I don't know. I'll have to talk it over with Matt and Steve. I involve Steve only just because it doesn't really matter. But we are going to be hosting a contest for the next producer of the 40 and Slip. And we're going to do it much like The Apprentice. We're going to call it The Producer.
To anyone listening to this, I strongly urge you to apply and go to the 40 and Slip and, just have fun with it. I mean, it's going
to be a contest. You can, apply. We're going to give out rules. Like Matt and Steve and I have to discuss like the rules. And what we're going to expect of people, and
the legalities of what we want them to do.
But the person who wins said contest will be the producer on the show of the 40 and Slip, not like be actually on the show, to produce the show. So we're working on that, and we will talk about it tomorrow night, along with Ed and Lorraine Warren, which I started doing a little bit of research on. Those interesting people, them.
As the former producer for the 40-inch Slip, I can honestly say it's one of the best jobs in the world, and you should definitely, enjoy that.
If we let you, are you going to apply? All right, maybe you could just be like our cheerleader.
Yeah, no, I will totally apply. Yeah, great. Absolutely love to do that again.
Well, we got to come up with like what we're gonna do for. We want to do like video entry. You got to do like a video or something, some type of thing.
Yeah, I want one of those audition videos like they do for like reality shows.
Oh, like for like wow, American Idol.
Yeah,
we got to go through it like that.
Yeah.
That is
oh yeah.
So that's
you're just rubbish.
So that's coming up tomorrow night on the 40-inch Slips. Go over to his channel. The link is in the description. Matt, are you still looking for paranormal and Bigfoot experiences?
Yes, always.
Always. You can reach him at bigfootcrossroads@gmail.com. Phil, are you returning to Breakdown this week? Or
I'll let you know.
Phil, are you remaining on the rum this week?
On the rum?
The rum. The rum.
I'll let you know.
Oh, you'll let me know. Is that going to be based on the whole YouTube thing too? Yeah. You're enjoying the underwater videos. Were you going to say that, Matt?
That's exactly what I was going to say. I enjoy the end of the pier, under the boardwalk, out by the sea videos.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a new thing. People don't seem to like it, but I figured I better take off all those other videos because repetitive videos is something that YouTube's gonna remove channels for. So
repetitive videos,
repeating videos,
videos that you've posted previously and then you repost under a new title.
No,
that's what YouTube told me directly, actually. So
is that right? Oh, so those other ones were actually good.
I don't know what you did.
I have no clue.
I'm unaware of your current YouTube situation. I just know that I was eventually able to actually talk to a person that represents YouTube to clarify some issues of my own, including the repetitive video thing, because a lot of videos have like theme music and intros that are the same on every video. And that would trigger an algorithm, I would think, but they don't. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because you've got a lot of things like Joe Rogan's podcast opens pretty much, the same every time.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. They're all kind of like, we open the show. Well, we talk for a little bit, but then we have the opening to the show, which is the same every time. So they'd have to knock a lot of channels off for that.
Yeah.
So, Phil, good luck in your endeavor.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
And if not, good luck in alcoholism deeper than you're already in.
Thank you, Chris.
But I do enjoy the underwater videos.
Yeah, it's just something that was kill time at work.
Yeah.
Very relaxing.
It is. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool. So with that, I was your host, Richard Allen. He was Phil Pulling. He was Matt Knapp, and he was Chris York. Say good night. Good night.
Good night.